Hi guys, I'm back with another segment on how to make a Halloween gingerbread house. Yesterday we made some significant progress, and today I'm going to build my base. Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Let me know where you are watching from. I'd love to hear it. All right, so I'm gonna start by these are my panels. I've got my side panels ready, and check this out. So we glued the teeth on the front, like you guys suggested. Isn't that creepy? This is unexpected, but oh, I hope it's not too low. It's kind of sitting on, I think it's actually sitting. Oh, this is great. It's going to work like my support. Look at that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to get some gummy candies that I've seen for Halloween, fingers, and those will be inside. So I thought it would be really cool. And I'm going to assemble the base. And to do that, I like to use thick roll icing. Your icing shouldn't be runny, but it also shouldn't be overly stiff, okay? So let me turn this way so you guys can see. Well, normally I hold this in my hand, but my teeth are supporting it. All right. Well, like I said, this is the third or fourth segment, I think fourth segment of this particular gingerbread house. I started by baking the panels, and you can also check out the previous lives. Hey, Jennifer. Oh, you can always rewatch. We did a bunch of things today. I'm going to assemble the base, and we're also going to do royal icing roses. And hey, Joseph. And I'm going to finish the chimney. Now, if your panels are moving, if your icing is slightly thinner, you can always use, and this is what I like to use, small bottles with sprinkles, and you can put them from either side to support your panels. You can also use, hi Michelle, I think so too. They are so creepy looking. You can also use toothpicks. I actually like to use bamboo sticks to support my roof while it's drying. Usually I like to build the base first. Hey, Katie. Oh wow, you're going on a roller coaster. Good luck with that. So I'm going to align it. While it's wet, you can kind of move the icing, move the panels where you want them so it's somewhat aligned. You want it to be aligned so we can put the roof panels on nicely and it looks nice once it dries, all right? And I like to let this sit for about 3-4 hours before I attach the roof. Hey Camille! Joseph, I'm doing well. It's been really hot today, really, really hot. I think some areas reported like 47 degrees of Celsius here. Yes, me too. I have one house partially built. I just put the roof on. Hey, Julie. So yeah, guys, so thanks for joining me. And I just finished building this part. Now, really important piece of advice that I would like to give you, be patient when your house is drying, give it some time. And then once it dries and you give it enough time, you can move it and put it on display. All right, so I'm going to put this aside, and then before we finish today, I'm going to attach the roof. So I guess everybody's curious how the roof looks. So let me move this somewhere safe, if I can find a space. I've got so much stuff around me. All right. So the roof panels, I was able to finish, oops, finish the second panel this morning. I didn't have enough chocolate royal icing, and if you remember, we used cookie crumbs mixed with some homemade sprinkles to give it like a look of a dirt. Hey April, thank you. All right, so now the big reveal. Now you want to let this dry overnight. Now I'm going to lift it up, give it a little shake, and then take a brush to kind of brush off the excess, especially from the chain. I want the chain to be somewhat visible. Isn't that cool? I love how this turned out. I wasn't sure about it, but it turned out really nice. I think it is really important to let the icing dry once you add the dirt. Okay, give it a little shake. And we can set that aside. Now the second one is from this morning. You see it's loaded with dirt. I feel like an archaeologist. I have to say, like I'm finding treasure underneath old skulls. Okay. Now some of the loose particles will continue to fall off, so you just want to give it like a good shake. Okay. Now if you get some of the dirt on the underside, just dust it off. All right, and this is ready to go. I'm just going to set this aside. And now we're going to make some royal icing roses. I already started painting my chimney. Well, this is not going to be on the chimney. It will be sitting on the ground like an air vent. Imagine something is underground. I don't know. So I started painting my chain with luster dust. And I'm just going to finish that, and then we'll add the dirt. And these are the royal icing roses that I made earlier today. These are not dry completely, so I'm going to have to wait for these to dry, but I'm going to show you how I made them. So that's what we will do today, and then at the end, we'll attach the roof. Okay, so I'm going to prepare my icing for the roses. And I'm going to use black or dark gray and red. And I'm going to layer it on plastic wrap here. Okay. So I've got my icing ready to go in a bag. Just gonna cut a small. And you can find the recipe for royal icing that I use on my blog, hanielas.com. And if you are new to watching my live, don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook page, Hanielas, and also you can find me on Instagram, YouTube. I also have a subscription page on Patreon. where I share monthly tutorials, exclusive tutorials, and also some recipes. Well, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I've never done it this way. I usually just make a big line in the center, but never mind. All right, so here I have some leftover red. This is also stiff, and I'm just going to pipe it in the center, like so. All right. I'm going to try to make a cute Halloween house too this year. I have baked several houses so far. I have this one I'm decorating today, and then I have 4 more. I want to make a Halloween village. So this is what you want. So you want the majority of your icing, depending on the roses you're trying to make. Like you can see, like I said, these are not dry yet, but you can see that I have the edges are red, but if you want the edges black, you would just do the opposite thing. You would the majority red and then a small portion of black, okay? Now to pipe these, I used 101. If you want your roses to be bigger, you can use larger tip. I have here 101, 102, 103. There's a slight difference in all of them. You can, I don't know if you can see well. And these are all Wilton. So these are pretty standard. So I'm going to use 101, and I need a piping bag. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. If you want to be able to swap out your piping tip, if you want to make smaller and larger roses, then I would suggest you use a coupler inside of your piping bag. I'm just gonna use 101. And another important thing, you want to align your piping bag or your piping tip so the narrow part is aligned or lined up with the red icing in your bag, and then black is lined up with the white part. Hey Beth, how are you? Oh Beth, oops. I need to call you. Sorry to do this during the live, but my friend Beth just joined. So I'm just gonna align it. Oops. All right, hopefully it will start coming out the correct way. All right, let's just do a little test on a piece of, if I can find a piece. Okay, let's do some black roses first, and then the red will eventually come out. I hate to waste icing like that. So we also need some parchment squares. These are quite tiny. I'm not planning on making huge roses, so this will be sufficient. But if you want to make larger roses, I would suggest that you make your squares bigger. I do like to store them in small containers like this because, you know, I make these flowers and succulents and, I don't know, sunflowers quite often. So it really comes handy to have these ready so I don't have to cut these. And these are templates for piping different flowers. I have also these available in my coffee shop, template shop. All right. So here are my squares. And I'm going to zoom a little so you guys can see. All right. So I'm going to start with a very basic ribbon rose. Have you guys done those? Ribbon roses are super easy to do. All right. And this is a standard one, standard flower nail number 7, I think. You don't want to overload your piping bag with icing when you're doing these because it gets kind of heavy on your hand. So what I like to do, I like to start almost like perpendicular, and then I turn. And then when you want to stop, you want to release the pressure, and there. Okay, let's put these aside. And I would give these sufficient time to dry, because if you try to remove them before they had enough time to dry, usually the petals get messed up. So I would say overnight is the best. Okay, let's do this again. So again, I'm going perpendicular. And then I'm touching, you can see the white part of my tip is touching the surface, and I'm continuing piping, turning the flower nail. Releasing the pressure. And there. These are super tiny. I'm going to try to do a bigger one. My red is still not coming out, so we'll just continue piping. We might be here till tomorrow, for all I know. It is important to have also like a piece of paper towel or something on hand to keep wiping your tip. Try not to use anything that is too wet, because what can happen, little liquid can get inside of the piping tip, and it can kind of interfere with the consistency that is coming out. So you want to use like a dry paper towel or a kitchen towel. And you can see when I move the tip toward the edge, I'm opening it up. So there's a bit of a gap there. Okay, so you can control how tight your petal is or how open it is. And that just by angling, so you angle your piping tip. See, when I'm going this way, it's pretty tight. And when I turn it this way, I'm opening it up. Okay, I'm gonna try to see if we get the red anytime soon. Oh, I see the red. It's not super bright, but oh, it's coming out. Awesome. Oh, Thea, how is it going? You see a little bit of red on there? It's not super bright, but we will get there. All right, so let's start now with a small petal. And then we'll build it up into a 3-petal rose. So again, I'm starting with the, oops, I like to cut it off like that. Now, I'm going to turn my tip a little. I think it turned. Oh, thank you, Linda. See how small that is? It's so tiny. I know these can be quite difficult to make when you're just starting out. So start with a larger piping tip if this is your first time. Hey Pia, thank you. Okay, so start with a larger tip. If you're just starting out with fertilizing roses, might be helpful. You can also control, and I'll show you. You see this one, okay, and then this one. So this one is more open, and this is again just angling. This is the angling of your flower nail. So if you angle it this way towards the edge, your petal is going to be more open, and then if you move it like this more to the center, it's going to be more tight. Okay. Well, I guess essentially it is kind of like the toothpick method. I'm just not using a toothpick. Those roses are, you first have to make the cone on a toothpick. I don't have a toothpick here, unfortunately. And then you can build it up. Hi, Nadia. Thank you, Patty. So these I'm going to use on my house. See, like I didn't really anchor it, so that's why I find that it really helps when you anchor it, like you do the perpendicular and you anchor your icing, because it is pretty stiff. And stiff icing, sometimes it doesn't like to stick to things. What you also like to do when you do the first 2 or 3 petals, hey Ems, you want to make the second petal, so it's, okay, let me just, so it's close, they're kind of like almost touching, okay? That you don't want them to be touching, but close enough. So I'm going to be using these on my gingerbread house. Because we figured, or I figured yesterday that the front was kind of like blah. So we're going to add some roses. And then on the mouth, if you remember the mouth, on the top, I put some dirt on there. So I figured that could be a flower pot. Thank you, Anne. That means so much. And then also tomorrow we have a live, I have a live with my friend Marlin. We go live at 1 p.m. And then on Friday, our regular cookie lunch break. So don't forget to join us. I don't know what we are doing this week. I think I'm going to be doing Halloween. And I think Marlin is probably going to also do Halloween. Are you joining us, Amber? I think you'll be. I hope you'll be there. So you could also use these. These could be little fillers on your cookies, or if you want to hide a dent or something like that. I'm gonna make some bigger ones after this. Just waiting for that red to start coming out. Awesome. You'll be there on Friday. Have you guys seen the house Amber made? She made a beautiful beach-inspired gingerbread house. It's so beautiful. You have to check it out. I don't know if you released the video or not, but it's probably on Sweet M's Facebook page. Or you can rewatch the live where she decorated step by step. I'm going to open it up, and you can also do this. You see I'm going back and forth, and you see the little wave that it creates. The different kind of flower or decoration you can use. Yeah, I saw some pictures that is going to be really cool. So guys, don't forget to join us on Friday. Amber is going to be sharing her gingerbread house and how she actually took it to the beach. Okay, so let's do a bigger one. You're making the roses, you're making, the petals are basically arches. See how it's arched? Oh, okay, let me see. You're going up and down. Now, if you want to open up the rose, like I said, you need to angle your piping tip. You see how my piping tip is angled towards the edge of the flower nail, so the petals are coming up more open. This is not ideal. It's not. Just want to show you quickly. All right. My parchment square is so small, so now I have to take it off, and so I don't mess up this flower, I'm going to use my scribe here. Okay, I'm just going to get underneath there. Like I said, if you want to make larger flowers, it's better to use larger pieces of parchment or wax paper. So I'm gonna do the ribbon one again. So you want to anchor and then turn so it's level with your flower nail. And then as you pipe, you also turn your flower nail. And then when you want to start, when you want to finish, you have to release the pressure and very slowly pull the piping bag and make it flush with the petal. If it's not flush, you can still use a little brush to make it flush. Okay, let's do that again. I'm not gonna, you see what I mean? There's a little piece here that I didn't do. So you can take a brush and move it while it's wet. Once it dries, there is no fixing that. Okay. I hate this buildup, but I'm going to do one more and then I'll clean it up. And these roses, they will last for many, many years if you store them properly. I actually today was looking and I actually have some left from my very first. I just use a dry brush. I try not to introduce any wetness to these. I just use dry brush. And now when you're doing the second set of petals, I would recommend that you start your pedal in the middle of the previous pedal. So then the height of the pedal, when you're pulling it up, making an arch, it's going to be on the seam here. It doesn't have, like, it's, sometimes it doesn't always pan out, but that's how I like to start anyway. Oh, here you can see the, the arches. You see the arches? I'm gonna clean it up. To clean it up, I just use my scribe here, the cookie scraper. I saw Borderlands Bakery, Lisa, they just came out, and I kind of want the scribe. They came up with a metal one, metal one of these, which is really neat to have. Because these are plastic, and as much as I like them, they, if you put too much pressure on these, they will break. Not that the metal is not going to bend, but I think it's unlikely. And if you see sometimes what happens when you pipe these for a bit of time around the piping tip, you can see there's a little bit of icing accumulated. So you want to get that off, because it can interfere with how your petals are coming out. For that, you could use lightly damp paper towel, but then immediately follow with dry, so you don't introduce any wetness to your icing that is inside of the bag. And guys, if you are interested in learning how to make sunflowers, I did sunflowers a couple weeks ago, also live, and I also did a detailed tutorial on succulents. It was really fun to do. So those are also available in the live video gallery that I have on Facebook and also YouTube. Okay. It's, hi Linda. So it's Borderlands Bakery. I think that's how Lisa called. Yeah, Lisa, Borderlands Bakery. If anyone is here and knows Lisa or Borderlands Bakery, maybe you can just do it quickly. I think this is how it looks. Thank you, Borderlands Bakery. I think I'm going to put it in a comment, but no, I think it's not borderline. I think it's, oh, hold on, there's a border, oops. I think it's like this. I'm putting it in a comment section. I think it's like this, Borderlands Bakery. I may be wrong how maybe it's not spelled that way. I'm not sure how it's spelled. Anyway, so Lisa has the metal one. But the plastic ones are really great as well. It's not everybody has access to the metal ones. And also Sweet Sugar Bell. Marlene just told me, Montreal Confections, that she came out at Michael's. They have they're dual size. So it's because I have a smaller one, and that's a yellow one. This is the first one that I came across years ago. I'll just quickly show you. And so Sweet Sugar Bell came out with a tool that has both small one and large one on the same stick, which is really great to have. But sometimes you need to remove larger amount of icing. All right. So let's do a couple more roses. I'm making these black. If you're just joining me, I'm making these black and red because these are going to be decorations on my gingerbread house, which is kind of, yes, thank you, Jennifer. So that's why they're black and red, because I thought it will go really well with the theme we are doing. Hello, Samiha, or Samia. I'm doing well. I love making flowers. I find it so therapeutical. I'll make hundreds of these at a time. And I do mess up, just so you know, guys. I do mess up, and then I'll just throw it out, and I'll start over. Okay, so I think we should have. The red is not coming out as nice as on my earlier batch. Oh, it's all moved. I should have used coupler. I was lazy to get one because with coupler you do secure your pedal your tip in that position, so it's not like mine. It looks like it shifted a little bit, but it's okay. They will still look kind of cool, right? And I'm going to have another live where I will put everything together, finish everything. I think on Wednesday. I'll do that on Wednesday, and then I'll start with a new project. You guys want to see Halloween stuff or my next project live? Again, making this too big. Too big. Oh well. All right. Let's see if I can get it off. I think I should have enough roses. So I'm going to put these back and okay. So let's start now. I'm going to have to fix, I didn't tell you, but we have to fix the teeth. So the teeth, yes, I do like the red and black combination. It's quite nice. So what I mean by teeth is these guys. So I realized thank you, Debbie. So I'm just gonna clean my work surface. I always find that when you are working on anything, I think, even like baking or cooking, It does help to clean up in between. I think it just maintains the positive energy flowing through. Like if it's all messy, you kind of get, I don't know, I get a bit depressed when it's too messy. So this way, I'll have my work surface clean up. And all right, so this is what happened. I'll show you. This has been drying for about 30 minutes. So, okay, let me zoom out. Oops, opposite. All right. So these teeth that we made, or I made, and you watched me how I make it, are going to go on the front here. Okay. Oh, the roof panels. Maybe I can add the roof panels now as well, and then I'll show you. Okay, so we can add the roof panels. So let me, hope you guys can see. All right. So to add the roof panels, you can see I placed my house on a non-stick mat. That's what I like to do, so it's not sliding when it's drying. And I also have, yes, I will have it in my shop. I've just been so busy preparing all these lives for you guys that I haven't had a chance to upload it, but I'll work on it soon, before the Halloween, hopefully. I love this shape. It's not super big, so it's kind of, it's doable for one person to do. And so these are the bamboo sticks that I use to support my roof. A long time ago, I would use sprinkle bottles, but then, these are just so much easier to place where you need to. So let's say my roof is going to end here, so I will place my bamboo stick here, and the rubber mat will keep it in place. Okay, and this way I was able to make. I made a Star Wars house, and I had a Death Star on the roof, and I just kept the toothpick there, or the skewer, and overnight. And if you check out Star Wars Gingerbread House on my blog, you'll see it's pretty amazing, and I had no problems with it. It didn't slide or anything. Right now I'm in Spain. All right, so let's do the panels. I'm going to use again my thick icing, and I'm going to, can you guys see it all? Or let's do, this way. Okay. All right, so I'll pipe icing here. Ideally, I want my base of the house to be drying for about 3-4 hours, but I do have a fan running here, and I have dehumidifier running, so I figure it will be fine. I'm adding a layer of icing here. It may not, I don't know if it's going to touch the roof or not, but it's on the inner side. This is just an additional support. Okay, so that looks good. All right, now the scary part. All right, so also make sure that you are holding the right panels, so they are not, you don't want the skulls to be facing the floor. You want them to be looking up. All right, so now I'm going to, you don't want to put too much pressure on it right now because it's been only drying for about 30 minutes, my base. If it was drying for longer, I would put more pressure on it. You can see the roof seam, it's also very nice. It really helped that we shaved the edges, if you remember. Okay, I think I need to trim my supports. It's too big, too long. Oops. Oh, got it. All right, this one is, you see how it's sliding? Can you see how it's sliding? So I don't want that to happen. So this is my bamboo stick, and quite challenging to do this when you're live. Oh, it's too long. Okay, let me just see. Okay, so I need to go around here. Okay. Oh, don't fall. All right. All right. So now, oops, like this. Now, sometimes if you're working on a larger gingerbread house and your roof panel is bigger, so you will have to use several of these, okay, to keep the front and the back somewhat aligned, so it's a nice looking roof once the icing sets. But this is a very small roof, so I only need one skewer in the middle, okay? And at this point, you really don't want to mess with this too much, so you can kind of forget about it, set it aside, and even within a few hours, you'll see how much sturdier this is. So now we can see about the teeth that I was mentioning earlier. Like I said, this is a project I'm doing actually, guys, with you. So, if something goes wrong, you'll get to see it and you'll get to, learn that sometimes we just have to, roll with the punches. So the idea is that I'm putting the teeth on the front like this, monster teeth. But you see how they're overlapping here? Now, it would be cool if I drilled a hole and they would actually be, functioning. Thank you, April. But I just don't like the way it looks when it's. I do like the way it looks, but I would have to use a lot of icing to glue it on this, and then it would look odd on the side. So what I decided to do, I had extra of these lovely skulls. So I decided to move my teeth down a bit, like so. You see? And then cover this little area with an additional skull. Or maybe slightly over it. Okay, so to do that, now we have a bit of a problem here because this is too long. So I had to perform a surgery, and I'm going to do that now, and hopefully none of these are going to break. If they do break, we'll just have to play with it and glue it on broken and just adjust it. Okay? So I think we have to do, wow, this one almost like 2 teeth we have to chop off. It looks like. It's always a good idea to measure twice and cut once, right? Because once we cut, there is no going back. Is that right? 2. So if I cover it like this, yeah, it's almost 2 teeth. And this one as well. It's almost 2 teeth. It's like 1.5. Okay, I'll try it. I'll try to do my best and to cut it. And to cut it, I'm going to be using serrated knife. Okay. I'm just going to slide it here so I don't accidentally back into it. All right, so to cut, you need a cutting board, and we're just going to trim it shy of 2 teeth. All right, so this way. It's going to look odd if it has 1.5, right? I mean, we have to cut it. Not really. Oh, you like it long? But it was a little too long. It was like quite long. You think it will be okay if we leave it long? Help me. Let me just. All right. I don't want to mess it up. It feels like a collective project. Maybe I'm really overthinking it. Maybe I'm really, really overthinking it. So I'm not gonna cut it at this point. Okay, just take one off. So I'll leave one. I'll cut one off, so it's not too long. You're making me happy. All right, so let's cut one off and say a little prayer so it doesn't break. Hey, Karen, just take one off. Okay, I'm gonna take one off. All right. So, okay. Woo-hoo! Now, this is a bit chipped, but it's okay. It'll be fine. And my handy sister. Oh, I'm not following. I mean the angle of the teeth. If you going two from each one, would you want to do one from each side of the set? Sorry, I'm not following. All right, so I'll do this one. Okay, so it will be, okay, so I want to have it so it's hidden, so it has to be this one. So I'll do one, and then, oops. I'm gonna hold it this way, so okay. Oh, don't be sorry. I always overthink. It's my yeah. I don't know. It's a bit of a curse, overthinking everything. All right. So anyone cares for two teeth? I could mail it to you. All right. So I've got this ready. Let me just. Okay, we can place it. Where do I place this? I have so much stuff everywhere. All right. I found a spot. So I'm going to bring the house back and I'm going to start adding the vines. I think, or maybe I should wait for the next time to do the vines because I'm going to be adding black vines on the front and then the roses, but the roses are not ready yet. So ideally, I want the vines to be still flexible so I can attach the roses without additional icing. And these are my cute little bones. Remember, I showed you I made these with white icing. So these are just on some wax paper. And I don't know who suggested, I think it was maybe Katie. I don't know who suggested I should put these on the below the windows. Okay. All right. So here we go. I do have to go shopping. Me too. Me too. I'm going to faint during the live, not breathing. I was also holding my breath. So you get the idea. So I'm gonna do the vines here, and then the roses. Some of these that I did earlier today, maybe let's see, they are somewhat dry. Okay. Okay, these are kind of dry. So the roses, so this is, imagine this is a flower pot because I put dirt in there. So I'll have some roses. The vine is gonna go up here. It'll be super simple vine. I think I'll use two access points, maybe like from here. Oh, maybe we could do a sign. I don't know, overthinking again. So I'll do variety of different sizes of roses on the top of the upper set, and then the vines there, and then I'll attach um, the teeth. And then this guy, we haven't talked about this guy. So this is my chimney gone wrong because I can't fit it on the house. It's like impossible. Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't look right. So instead, I will go create a little board, and on the board I'll have what will I have on the board? Maybe I'll make more bones, and then I have some skeletons again. I have some skulls, and this is like a air vent from underneath. So I'll have to add the dirt. I started on the other one, and then this just has to be finished. I have to paint, and basically same process as the roof. So if you wanted to check that out, it's in the previous live. To make the dirt, I used cookies, and I also added some crushed homemade sprinkles that I made. You see these tiny little circles here, these rounds here, if I can pick one up. These are made with a stencil that I have, small polka dot stencil, and they're quite easy to crush between your fingers. So I thought these will add more of a kind of like a dirt look, with little, I don't know, pebbles or whatever. So that was the whole idea. You can use the teeth to hold up a sign. I do have a sign. I actually do have a sign that was going to go on the other house, and the sign was going to say Blood Cafe. So, yeah, I'm really like thinking it is through. You can use the teeth to hold the sign. I do have the sign. Oh, you got me thinking, Debbie, now. Okay. Well, this is not, nothing is set in stone, as I say. So I made the roses. Roses are going on the house, but we can definitely. Oh, you mean between the teeth? Oh, like I don't know if that's gonna fit. I was going to get gummy candies. They have really cool finger candies here that I was going to get, and I was going to glue it in. But I like the idea of the sign. That's very clever. That is very clever. And I could still have some candies popping here and there. All right. Exciting. Thanks for all your suggestions, guys. I'm going to continue working on the chimney. And do I have to do anything else? Oh, we wanted to glue do you still want me to glue the bones here, or should I save them to decorate around the house? I might actually save them to decorate around the house, where we'll have maybe something going on. I don't know what yet. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was so much fun. And tomorrow again, I will be live with Marlon. I don't know what I'm doing yet. We are doing a cupcake theme, but we are mixing it up with cookies as well. So I might do actually some cookies for Halloween. And I will be back with this project on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you guys can join me. And my pleasure. And that's a wrap. All right, guys. So I will talk to you later. I will see you next time, whenever that will be. And you have a great rest of the day. Bye, guys.